Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics with a bit of a first for LMC. A little while back, I picked up an awesome collection of Silver and Bronze Age comics, mostly Silver Age, from an individual who's actually appeared on several of my recent videos. It's a guy named Dave. He's a local collector that's unfortunately fallen on some hard times and needed to sell some of his collection. He contacted me. I went over there, got some great books, met his amazing kitten Penny, went back with my daughter, got a few more books, and I thought that was the end of it. I didn't think I was buying any more. Well, he contacted me one more time. He had a bill to pay, and I said, I think I could probably pick out a few more. Well, this is what a few more looks like. Now, I said this is an LMC first, not because I got a stack of great comics, but because for the first time ever, I didn't get any footage. Completely forgot. I was kind of in a rush. We were talking the whole time. I didn't film anything. That's fine, guys. That just gives me more time to show you this amazing stack of comics. Before I show them to you, if you like this sort of stuff and you want to support the channel, head on down, like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG. So Dave was looking for a specific amount of money he needed to pay a bill. And like I said, the previous times I've been there, I kind of took out everything I thought I wanted, but I also knew he had a lot of older books. So I said, okay, let's try to get to that threshold you need. Let's just start making a pile. And that's how this ended up. Now, most of the stuff in here, guys, is not a key issue or it's a minor key. You guys know how it is. Anything could be a key issue, right? Depending on how you define it. But most of these are just decent books that I like because they're from that era. That's my favorite, the 60s and 70s. But some of these are bona fide keys, and I'll tell you what I paid at the end, but basically I paid him straight up for all of the key issues, and then everything else was sort of like $5 or $6. So normally when I do these videos, I start with like the cheapest comic and work my way up to the big ones. I'm going to do this in whatever order I feel makes the most sense, and we're going to start with these. I got 4 very early Invincible Iron Man issues. So this is the first Iron Man ongoing series. The first issue from 1968 is pretty famous. Blue cover, Iron Man's on the front in his armor. Very cool key issue. These aren't, but they are very early and they're really, really cool. So let's start with this one. This is issue number 2. So incredibly early, right? Now, when I did that previous video of going through his collection, several eagle-eyed viewers spotted this book in the box and like, how come you didn't grab that? Well, I did look at the book when the camera wasn't rolling, and the reason I didn't get it was, again, at the time, I was just trying to pick up stuff I really wanted, and the condition of this one isn't great. Lots of spine ticks, color breaks, some tears, big chunk missing out of the corner. Not in the best shape. Granted, David put all these in nice Mylar, so they look fantastic, but the colors are good on this. It is issue number 2. I decided this is the time to pick this one up. So very early Invincible Iron Man. Very cool, right? But if that one's not in great condition, I can't say the same for the next 3. They're all in pretty nice condition for their age. Here we have number 7. He's going up against traditional Daredevil villain Gladiator. Very cool. Next up, we have issue number 8. Again, nice pretty cover. Little stamp on the front, but that's fine. Very cool. This one's awesome. Number 13, all nice red cover right here. One thing to mention too, guys, all these are by Archie Goodwin. He was the main writer for a lot of these early Iron Man books. But yeah, I just like this one. You know, it's got a couple of weird like printing errors, but who cares, guys? I'm being picky. 4 early Iron Man issues, they're pretty awesome. So, before Iron Man was starring in his own solo series, he was appearing in Tales of Suspense. He first famously appeared in Tales of Suspense number 39. That's not this book. This is issue number 75, and like a lot of the Marvel titles from the 1960s, they shared billing. So it's Iron Man and Captain America. There's a story for each of them. This is by Stan Lee and Gene Colan from 1966. But unlike those other issues I just showed you, this one is a bona fide key. In fact, there are 3 points of interest here. First, it is the first appearance of Sharon Carter, better known as Agent 13, a character often affiliated with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Nick Fury, and also notably was in the MCU as a sort of love interest to Captain America, especially in Winter Soldier. Awkwardly enough, her aunt is Peggy Carter, another love interest of Steve Rogers, and her first cameo appearance is in this issue right here. One panel, barely there, but in theory, this is her first cameo appearance. And also the first appearance of Batroc the Leaper, a traditional Captain America villain who also appeared in Winter Soldier. So pretty cool book. Yeah, some minor key significance, but a neat one nonetheless. Not in the best shape. Pretty big color break there. Lots of spine ticks, but who cares? Yeah, pretty nice book. Okay, next up, we have 4 Thor comic books, right? So I like Thor, guys. Thor is a cool character, but I especially like it when he's going up against cosmic things. And as you're going to see, one of these books really sticks out to me more than the others. Again, very minor key significance if you want to fish around for it. We have Thor number 140. I think it's the first appearance of the growing man that you see right here. Pretty insignificant character. We have Thor number 146. We have an Inhuman story in here as well. This one's pretty cool. This is number 148. This is the first appearance of this character, the Wrecker, better known from his Wrecking Crew fame. He's one of the 4 members of the Wrecking Crew. This is actually his first appearance. He appeared solo. Not in the best shape, but still a cool book. But this one's obviously my favorite, right? This is Thor number 161, and in this one he's going up against Galactus, and we have a bit of Galactus' backstory. Awesome, right? Absolutely cool, from 1969. Pretty nice condition on this one as well. So very happy to get this, guys. And out of all these, you know this is the one that I'm absolutely going to read. Very cool. So these next 3 issues are all Avengers, and these ones absolutely are keys. These are the ones I wanted to pay Dave a fair amount for, because some of these are actually really, really cool. This one, probably the best in my opinion. This is the Avengers number 59, and this is the first appearance of Hank Pym as Yellow Jacket. So Hank Pym, founding member of the Avengers, had many personalities over the years, different superhero, costumes and names. Of course, he was the first Ant-Man, he was Giant Man, Goliath, and here he takes on the persona of Yellow Jacket, another sort of bug-themed character. Later on, and more notably, I think Yellow Jacket was Darren Cross, a villain. Again, those of you that saw the MCU know exactly who I'm talking about, but this is the first appearance of Yellow Jacket in any form. Very cool. Also, the third appearance of Vision, who first appeared in number 57. So he's right there on the cover. So that's a pretty cool thing. First Yellow Jacket. Next up, we have number 64. This is the first appearance of Barney Barton, who is the brother of Clint Barton, Hawkeye, who is later known as his own character, Trickshot, a villainous character who, like his brother, has perfect aim. So first appearance of Barney, although he's not Trickshot yet. This one is super cool, and I did not know this key significance before I looked it up, guys. The Mighty Avengers number 66. Believe it or not, in this book here, it's the first mention of adamantium. Yeah, not associated with Wolverine. This is associated with the Avengers because adamantium is sort of refined or discovered by a person in this, and who uses it to affect? Ultron. So Ultron takes this adamantium or a weaker form of it and makes a new body. This is an Ultron thing, right? No matter how many times the Avengers defeat him, he comes back bigger and badder. In this issue here, he gets some adamantium and makes a new body and calls himself Ultron 6. Basically, the first on-page upgrade that Ultron does happens here. Happy to get this. So these are the 3 that I'm probably most excited about in terms of both condition and significance. Let me know down in the comments if you knew first adamantium was in this book. Learn something new every day, right, guys? This next issue right here, I actually already own, but I can't say no to it. It's this Strange Tales number 157. Same thing, guys, double billing. We have, a Nick Fury story and a Doctor Strange story. Nothing of note happens in the Nick Fury story. However, in Doctor Strange, there is, because in the last panel of this book is the first appearance of the Living Tribunal, an incredibly powerful cosmic being in the Marvel Universe, the arbiter or judge of all the Marvel multiverse. And yeah, I'm a big fan of those cosmic beings, guys, which is why I love this book so much. There he is. How cool is that? Now, this is in very poor condition, and like I said, I own this one and the full first appearance. This one's going to my son, who also loves these cosmic beings. So there you go. This goes in Jack's collection box. Very cool book. Never say no to it, guys, if I can find it for a cheap price. Next up, another Strange Tales. This is number 162. Listen, I'm going to fish for a key significance here. I usually don't consider second and third appearances of characters like a key. But here, we fished one out, right? So this is the second appearance of Contessa Valentina Allegro de Fontaine, also known as Val. Again, those of you that know the MCU, she's played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, especially recently in Thunderbolts. That's a stretch, guys. It's not really a key issue. The reason I got it is quite simply, we got Doctor Strange going up against this, Nebulos from the Neverworld. Awesome. I love Doctor Strange, right? So I had to get this book. Very cool. Next up, we have this. We have Tales of Astonish number 70. Again, this is a Submariner and Hulk comic book. We have a story for each. Now, like I said, different characters shared these comic books for a while, and then after 10 issues or so, they would change one or both characters. This is the first time Submariner starts appearing in his own solo stories in this title. So there he is. Horrible shape, guys. There's even a tape pull right in the front. That's fine. Also, first appearance of King Neptune and his very powerful trident. Doesn't really matter. Speaking of Submariner, here he is starring in his own comic book. This is Submariner number 32, and here you see he's been captured by this character, Lyra. This is her first appearance. She's a half mutant, half mer person, and yeah, she has the ability to shapeshift. She can change her appearance and her color. Now, the reason that's relevant is they say her changing forms all the time gives her multiple personalities. Now, guys, this was a trope in comic books for a long time. They'd give characters like actual diagnosable mental issues, and they often weren't portrayed very well at all, usually as villains, and that's sort of the case here. Her portrayal is much maligned for someone who's basically has schizophrenia or dissociative identity disorder. Still, she's a cool-looking character and one of the few notable Submariner characters, villains, and she's drawn here to great effect by Sal Buscema. Fantastic-looking cover. So, there you go, guys. First appearance of Lyra. All right, for all of you DC fans out there looking at this video and saying, how come they're all Marvel? I hear ya. I got a couple for you. So here we have Adventure Comics number 307 is from 1963. Great Kurt Swan art. And this is known as the first appearance of Element Lad. So you see right here on the front, it says, who is this mystery person? What is his mystery superpower? Well, you find out he's Element Lad. He's a character from the far future, I believe, like 1,000 years in the future. And his ability is that he can transmute elements. He can change lead into gold. In theory, he can change nitrogen into oxygen, what have you, and he's most notably known because he's a member of the Legion of Superheroes. So, cool character, guys. I didn't know much about this. The reason I wanted this book is not only is it in great shape, it's Superboy punching Bizarro. I thought that was great, so I wanted it. So not bad. First, Element Lad. So at this point, I had all of these sort of Silver Age comics in a small stack of ones I just wanted from my PC, but we weren't quite to sort of that dollar threshold, and Dave's like, hey, just grab a whole bunch more. I saw some Bronze Age comics that he had, and I just tossed them in the pile. And yeah, this is the first one. This is the Incredible Hulk number 183. So not too long after the first appearance of Wolverine, he's going up against Zazax, who is a lightning-themed Hulk villain. I think it's his second appearance. And the other issue I got of the Hulk is this, number 185. Again, not a key issue. David also had number 184 that filled this gap, but it was missing the Marvel value stamp. So I threw these ones in. Same thing with these two. Bronze Age, Amazing Spider-Man. Here we have Amazing Spider-Man number 128. It's from 1974. Amazing John Romita Sr. cover. I think he's the best that ever drew Spider-Man, guys. So, great cover by John. And also, he's fighting the third Vulture. Lots of characters have the mantle of Vulture. No big deal. Pretty nice shape. Looks great in the Mylar. It does have a thumbprint or a fingerprint. I don't know if someone touched some sort of food and stuck it on there. I'm nitpicking. It's a pretty nice copy. And the next one is Amazing Spider-Man number 147 with Spider-Man going up against the Tarantula, another spider-themed character. In this case, he's a villain with sharp feet. Yeah, that's his thing. Little spiky feet. He kind of stabs you. Not his first appearance, but he's a cool character. I like to look at him. He kind of has that luchador look, kind of like Spider-Man does. So there you go. It's from 1975. This is a Gil Kane cover. Not bad. A couple other issues they just spoke to me, guys. We have this one, Batman number 351 from 1982. Gene Colan, Jerry Conway. I just love this cover. It's Dick Giordano and Ernie Colon, and it is Batman as a vampire. Cool. That's all. It's a cool looking book. It's in nice shape. This one's a far more notable and well-known Batman comic. It's this. This is Batman Year 1, Part 1, also known as Batman number 404. It's from 1987, and this was the first part of a famous 4-issue storyline by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. And this is basically a retelling of Batman's origin story. You see him right here as a child, Bruce Wayne, with the tragedy with his parents. And basically these 4 issues talk about his first year becoming a crime fighter. And this would be followed up with, year 2 and year 3, etc. Sort of thing they did. But similar to how, Frank Miller really redefined the character of Daredevil and sort of retold his story. Same thing here, guys. Sort of, very iconic storyline revisiting the youth of Bruce Wayne. And believe it or not, I've never read this series. So yeah, I got the first issue because I like the cover, but I really want to get the trade paperback of this and read the whole thing. I'm a fan of Frank Miller. Certainly the way he writes, not necessarily the way he draws, but yeah, pretty happy to have this one. This next issue, guys, I got purely for a cover buy. Yes, I need it for my run, but this cover is spectacular. Pun intended. This is The Spectacular Spider-Man number 66. It's from 1982. And look at this awesome Al Milgrom cover. Spider-Man is fighting Electro on a skyscraper, and the way Milgrom did this is he worked in all of the writing on it, the trade address, even the little approved by the Comics Code are all signs on this skyscraper. Even the thing they're standing on, it says Epic Illustrated. That's actually an advertisement for Marvel's magazine at the time, similar to like Heavy Metal. It was a magazine that published science fiction and fantasy stories. And you see these sort of a promotion for it right here. And the whole title up in glowing lights. It's just awesome. And this is a book that I'm probably going to have Al Milgrom sign. Very cool. And yes, I need it for my run as well. Awesome, awesome comic book. Okay, here's a book that I wanted because of the characters, but not because of the art. This is Marvel Team Up number 150. This is the last issue of Marvel Team Up, at least the first volume of it, and it's starring my favorite characters in all Marvel Comics, Spider-Man and the X-Men, who slightly edge out Daredevil, depending on the day of the week. Now, this is a Barry Windsor-Smith cover, and I've spoken very highly of Barry Windsor-Smith in the past. I like a lot of the work he did in some very iconic X-Men comics, but I hate this cover. It's a couple times Barry Windsor-Smith's done stuff where I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, this is not very good. Rogue doesn't even have a nose. I'm not sure. I got it because of the characters and I want to read it. So I'm happy to add this to my collection, even if I don't like the cover. So these last two issues are definitely not comics that you would think I'd be into. Before I show them, by the way, guys, if you are an underground or indie comic collector, don't get too excited when I flash these up on the camera because they are not first printings. They are these. This is Zap Comix number 1 and Zap Comix number 0. And the reason why I said don't get too excited is because Zap Comix number 1, first printing, is worth a lot of money. And the reason why is this book here, first published in 1967, is often credited as kicking off the genre of independently published underground comics. These were adult-oriented and they sort of really tied into the counterculture of the late 1960s. And because this is the first comic book that really started doing that and kicked off a whole bunch of different publishers doing the same thing, it's worth an awful lot of money in first print. Alas, this is a very late printing. This is like printing 6th or 7th. I want to point something out, guys. You find these often, and it's kind of difficult to find out what printing they are sometimes. It's not as simple as always opening up the front cover and seeing it written there. A good buddy of mine, he's a local comic seller named Bob. He's appeared on my channel in the past. He knows everything about these underground comics. And one time I asked him, like, hey, how can you tell the difference? And guys, sometimes it's like slight color change here, flip to this page, look for this one little mark. So most of these, to figure out what printing they are, you kind of have to look them up and do some research, but there's a much easier way to sort of figure out ballpark what printing it is, if it's early or late, by looking at the price on it. So when they were first published, they were cheaper, usually like 25 cents or so. And then later on, as they got published over and over again, going into the 70s, they jumped up to 75 cents or $1 or $1.50. That's what you see right here. It's 75 cents. So I knew immediately it's a later printing. So still, guys, I think it's still a pretty cool comic book to have because of its historical significance. So now let's talk about Zap number 0. So yeah, it's issue number 0. You would think it came out before issue number 1, but it didn't. It was actually created before number 1, but wasn't published until the year later, 1968. It was published between issues 2 and 3 for whatever reason. But still, guys, I think it's neat, and the reason why I'm so interested in these is because I keep coming across underground comics. I have a little fledgling collection, all later printings. They're not worth that much. But here you have a Zap Comix number 3, and it's not a huge run. So I'm starting to think, hey, maybe I can finish this run of comics. You know, nice little side quest maybe. Definitely something outside my normal comfort zone of comic collecting. Yeah, it might be fun. Let me know down in the comments if you're an underground comic collector, or specifically Zap. Let me know what you think of these. I think they're pretty cool, and I'm actually interested in flipping through them. So I think this is a pretty good little stack of comics. You know, mostly Silver Age. We get some bronze in here, and definitely some oddities to add to my collection. Over 20 comic books. None of them are crazy big keys or anything, but I think they're pretty cool. How much did I get them for? Well, David actually had an amount in mind. He needed $200 to pay a bill. So I was keeping that in mind, that target, as I was making a pile. And, you know, we looked up prices of some of the bigger issues. And the way we sort of reasoned the value on these is I was paying him fair market value for the bigger keys, and then everything else I was paying him about $6 or $7 for. You know, some of these smaller issues are worth more than that. Some are definitely worth less. But most importantly, guys, we were both pretty happy with that. I was happy to have these books, happy to help him out, and he was happy with that value. So that's what's most important. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Is $200 for all these a good deal? I think so. Also, let me know which of these is your favorite. I would love to hear, because I don't know which one is my favorite yet. And that's it, guys. In the meantime, keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places. Try to support your fellow comic collectors when they're in need. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.